Hello, hello. Feels weird not having music playing, but today we're going to be making some sound effects. Working on a couple this morning. Um and the sound effect that I'm making is one for our casting. So when we complete a cast and we actually shoot the spell out, I was going for a certain kind of effect. And this is actually a combination of a couple of them. And I'll show you what my process is for creating sound effects. Let me just make sure that Audacity is not at max volume right now. It's like, it's pretty loud and bassy. So the sound that I was like really going for was when the player completes their cast and they're actually like going through the motion of like swinging and punching for the cast to come out, the runes on their wrist will like go up and out like that. So I was going for more of like a kind of like a sound or like shockwave with like a super deep like kick right at the point of like attack. So I took a couple of sounds. Let me see if I can grab them here. I'll show you. Took a couple of sounds and just modified them to get to that point. This was one of them here. I think I had to stop the... Okay. Excuse me. So I took this sound here and turned it into this. I gotta clear the looping. You can hear like a distortion effect like in the beginning, but you don't hear it when it actually plays through. So right here where it actually like kicks in the beginning is where the it's when the spell's actually going to come out. And Unreal has this really cool feature with meta sounds where I can time a Niagara effect to what's the word for it? I could basically time everything perfectly so the animation of the effect matches the timing of the sound. So when this like second part kick here actually happens, that's when the spell is actually going to get released. And you can make your sounds sound three-dimensional, which is really simple changes to a sound, where if you notice the right and left indicators for like stereo headsets, I have them both panning in different directions. But what I'm also doing is I'm offsetting the noises by just like a little bit on the left and right. And I amplified the bass and lowered the treble on both sounds. So what ends up happening is when you're wearing like headphones, it will feel like there is like a very small delay. And with how bass works, there's like much more like vibration in your headset. And it just, I don't know, it just feels like really good. Because you can hear and like kind of like feel the noise. Man, it's so weird to explain, but without that effect, I mean, I could just show you. It's like such a small change. See how flat that sounds? Like you can physically feel a difference too if you have like a headset on. But if you just do that, it just, I don't know, it just sounds so much more like impactful. Maybe I just have like OCD or something, but like I can hear a difference. Yeah, I mean, it just sounds so better, or so much better. It's like the really small details of this shit that can make such a massive impact. Sounds pretty good. We're going to export this and we're going to be creating some sounds. This is actually going to be, I want to name this spellcast? Probably. Yeah, so we're going to be making the Niagara effect for this. But what I first want to do is add in this sound to the character. Maybe I'll turn music on in the background as we're doing this, but it won't be long. Not abilities. Actually, I'll turn this into like a cast. Just make a casting folder. And we're going to make a meta sound. Spellcast. We're going to turn this from a mono to a stereo. And we want to have a wave player like this. Unfinished. Out left, out right. And the sound we want to import our desktop. Where is it? Spellcast or so the thing with this is, when this animation plays, right now we have this set up as stereo, right? To everybody else in the game, we would want this to be mono. Reason being is because stereo is for more for like UI and stuff, right? Whereas like a sound like this, when other players hear it, you need it to have, what's the word for it? Spatialization, I think is what it's referred to as in Unreal, where like when you move around, you need the sound to actually be on the side to where the direction actually is, and you don't get that with stereo. Stereo literally just puts it in both your ears directly. So that's why like stereo is a really good thing for UI, and mono is good for like in-game sound effects. For the character launching the spell, we're going to use this sound. For all other players, we are going to use a mono sound. So let's duplicate this and make a mono version. I actually don't put it at the end. Mono. And then this one will be our stereo. Let's get rid of all. Mono. Wave player mono. On play, on finished. I can demonstrate what the key difference is if you learn better by actually like seeing rather than I guess thinking about it. But yeah. Okay, so in the cast animation is where we're going to put this. Let's see here. All right, I think I'm going to turn music on just until we get started with this. We'll create more sounds in a Here we go. One we are using. Yeah, it is. Okay. So in cross punch is where we're actually going to add this sound. Insert notified track. We're going to name this guy sound effects, and we would want the sound effect to happen right before the punch completes. So it would go about like right here, roughly, and we'll adjust it as we go. Oh, I was like, why the hell is it? And this is what we want to be mono. Want it to follow the player? We do not. We do want this to come from the player's wrist, though. So actually, we do want it to follow. That should here. Mute the music real quick. Hold on a second. Why is that? I may have to export. Hey, how are you doing? Making some sound effects. I don't know if you can hear them that well in Unreal, but this is the sound we're using for our spell casting. Like a very, very deep sound with a very like bassy like kick to it when the spell is actually launching. So we just made this morning using a couple random noises we found on the internet. One of them being this guy. We just took like I think like the sound of like a firework or something and just changed it into this guy. There's a ton of like free sounds that you can get on the internet, and you can turn them into shit like this for your game. I think I just have Unreal Engine like turned down super low. The just trying to listen for this. Yeah, it has to happen like way before. Go back to our animation and change the placement of that. There is like a very, like right here probably. A little bit more. Damn. Almost. I think that's near, like near perfect, I believe. See what it sounds like in game. Uh-oh. I crashed my editor somehow. It surprised me. Nope. Okay, we're good. Yeah, stream's pretty early today, but we got a long day ahead of us. It's probably going to be like a, I would imagine like a 7-8 hour stream today. With the amount of stuff we have to get done. So. That is a problem. Yeah, so what we want to have happen is that sound we just made should be playing through right now. Should be tied to that frame, unless this ability specifically is not using this animation, but I'm pretty sure it is. It should be at least. I believe in montages. It's not going to play because the editor is open. Yeah, I don't think that sound's coming through. Dude, doesn't he? Yeah. It looks crazy right now. I think it looks more ridiculous because he's like basically naked. But like when he has his clothes on and like his actual like gear and stuff, it does look a little bit better. But yeah, this is the Kratos we got back home. He's the basically the store brand Kratos. My PC specs? Yeah, I have I believe an AMD 3800X think is the model of it. It's the 8-core processor, and then my graphics card is the 6900 AMD card, and then 32 gigs of RAM. It's funny because I build computers for a living and I can't remember the exact specs. I also like fix them and do soldering and shit. Why aren't you playing faster? Oh, do I have to update the actual animation itself? Oh, you fucker, it's using this one. That's why it's not working. It's using the wrong version of it. Which means all the other ones are probably using that version. Alright, let's look for the frame that we put that sound at, and then we'll just move it over. We'll just copy this, and this is at frame 300, 305. Dude, I saw Unreal Engine 4 or 5.4, and as soon as the preview build is done, which means they usually correct all the major bugs, I'm going to copy this project and then upgrade it to 5.4, run with it for a bit, and if it works, I'm just going to completely move everything over. Because all the animation shit they're adding makes indie developers like myself just like cream their pants. It's like fucking, it's amazing. Like I can't sit here for like hours and then just like go through and like do this like manual shit of modifying like animations to like fit my needs like I had to do with some of these. Like just sitting here like keyframing this shit. So I'm super excited for all that. It comes out like mid to late April. I have the preview build and I was looking at it, and it's really fucking cool. Oh really? It looks horrible. Oh, like horrible as in like keyframing and shit looks horrible, or like the 5.4 animation shit looks horrible. Oh, horrible to make animations, dude. It is. If you don't have Maya, and it's a pretty expensive license for that, by the way, you are like forced to like make animations in Blender, which I will say Blender doesn't have the most friendliest UI out of all the animation software that I've used in the past. And that's a nice way of putting it. But yeah, I'm super pumped. I'm going to make so much shit so quickly. They're also updating sequencer, so making cinematics is going to be a lot easier too. That shit is dope. Alright, now this should work. Alright, see what we got. It's a great time because we don't have to pay to use Unreal Engine anymore, which I mean, they made that change a long time ago. But like, if I tried to do what I'm doing right now back in like 2005, 2006, I'd be fucked unless I worked for like a AAA studio. So it's an amazing time to be an indie developer. Oh, there we go. Dude, with the fucking Niagara, I gotta stop cursing so much, but with the Niagara effect that I'm making for this, there's going to be like 3 rings on the player's hand, kind of like this whatchamacallit. Doesn't have the symbol on, but hold on. I want to show you what I mean. Doo-doo-doo. Where you at? Open full blueprint editor. Okay, so this ring right here, the Niagara effect that I'm making for actually like launching your ability is there's going to be 3 of these, ranging from like the largest one at the end here, and then like medium and then small. And what they'll do is when he goes to launch, they'll basically all go up to his hand and collide with each other, and the ability will send out like a ripple effect along with the projectile. So I was looking for like a really like bassy sound, and I made one earlier today in Audacity. Dude, it's fucking, it like this sound just like, it goes perfect with it. I can show you the ripple effect that the ability is going to make as well. Let me just open up the project here for it. You see this like distortion? I think I have one actually complete. Yeah, so it's like basically bending like time and space around it when he launches. The fucking sound like with this, just, it's so crisp. I'm actually going to add this in right now because I forgot I completed this last night. Game dev is like very small steps to like a larger picture. So I'm making one thing at a time here. Where the fuck's my animation? I don't want to toot my own horn here, but like that noise just sounds so fucking good. Me at least. All right, let's add in this ripple effect. I'm gonna have to change my pants if I get this like perfect. So we do not want this to be attached, but we do want this to be in a certain spot here. We also don't want it to be persistent. We want it to do this once and be done, which it is. Oh, here we go. System. Get rid of that real quick and put it back in. Okay. Location offset. Our character is 105, so his hand is probably going to be... Actually, fuck it. I think I can look at the skeleton and see where I have this at. Auto right hand cast. What is your location? Skeleton. Relative location. Paste. And rotation doesn't matter because I think it follows character. It has to be a little bit further out though. So what is this going to be, like 150Y then? God damn it, Unreal. Okay. 0 to X. It's so hard to see if that's where it should be at. Close. Closer. Too, too close. Almost perfect. Let's see what it looks like in game. I might have to adjust the timing of when it spawns, but that's okay. Okay, location definitely off. That's fine. Might be distracting, but one other thing I like about this model is you can just like mess with the random shit on it. So you can make it look like he just got his first Adderall prescription. Just like that. Dude, he's off the shit right now. My man got the idea to boot up his Xbox 360 and have an all-nighter with the boys like the old days. That's what he's thinking right now. Uh, yeah, this effect was like off by a pretty large margin. So let's go back to that negative 32, I think is what we had before. And we want this to not be attached. Loot scale should fire an editor. Want it to trigger every time. Back queued. Great. Rotation offset doesn't matter. It should just die after the effect ends. Let emitters finish. I think emitter should die for their life cycle, which is 3 seconds. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Alright. Let's test this out. Where the fuck did it spawn? Wait a minute. The location? That? Where did it go? I must be tripping. I'm gonna check the log real quick. I feel like it's spawning like once and then just like going away. Okay, there it is. Why is it spawning there though? Fuck it, I'm gonna have it attached just for now. I'll figure out why it's doing that later. Socket name, hit scan. Have it attached. Local offset. I'm gonna copy this, but it should be 0. Because it should go off of the socket. Oh, we're also going to be changing the fucking UI for the character today. So this radial wheel, it served its purpose, but March into April is about upgrading visuals and sound. One of them being this, because holy fuck, it is outdated. Why is it this? Why is this not spawning? Oh, you gotta love it. Right, I'll put the music on for now because we're not gonna be going back into Audacity for at least like half an hour. Upgrades are always good. Hell yeah, especially visual upgrades. Our character doesn't look like a piece of shit anymore. I mean, this was our old model right here. The one thing about like the import on this character that always killed me was like it didn't grab the correct material for his like eyelashes, so it looks like he's just wearing fucking like this like white eyeliner. Looks crazy. It's pretty good. Yeah, he served his purpose for the first like 130 days of this project. This was our boy. Now we got this stud. He also has, holy shit, this music is fucking loud. He also has like clothing and shit too, because the equipment system that we're going to be using was something I didn't add to the other character because I knew we were going to replace him. So for this new one, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go like basically all out. Why did it just spawn like 3 of them right there? That was weird. He's thick too. He is hella thick. The old like animations I had for this guy, I was like really ambitious on like how the combat of this game was going to be. I think I had one, yeah, this one here, flying backwards. So I wanted like ragdoll physics to be part of the game pretty bad. So like when like a player got hit, you were going to like lose footing, and like when an ability launched you back, your character would actually just be like like actually flying back into like a wall where they would like slam into. But I wish I had the footage of the first like 30 to 40 days so I could show you how that implementation went. The first couple abilities, it was really cool, like fireball and everything, and how it like blasted you back. But like when you got hit by something and you didn't have any control of your character, and like you were just flying back at like 100 miles an hour into like you know, fucking the edge of like a wall or a mountain, it didn't feel good. Maybe as like a party game it would be something fun to make, but adding in that kind of like combat was like super cheesy and it felt terrible. And the first playtest, which I think I still have that build, was fucking ridiculous. But yeah, that's why we have this animation. There was actually another bug too where, yeah, exactly. Dude, there was another bug where the character flew back, but he flew back so fast that he actually just ignored collision completely, and he would just fly through the landscape and then just like go into the ether. Like he was just gone. So that was another problem I really couldn't fix unless I added like a larger collision volume. Yeah, the yeeter, like this. Can eat this guy. Oh, never mind. I fixed it. Well, I guess not fixed. I tuned it. Before, like when you got hit by this spear, it's basically like a nuclear bomb went off. Like your character went into outer space. I had, I think, 2,000 times the power for that launch than I currently have right now. So he went flying. Yeah. Goddamn ripple effect. Where is it going? I'm gonna close out some of the tabs here. Maybe it's... Probably need it to spawn like right at the very tip. And then maybe give it like an offset. Of what, like... Say like 30 or something? Might be just behind the character. Also, let me know if like the music or anything is like too loud. Huh. Not it. Now the one thing is this ripple effect should be replicated to our client as well. So we should be able to see it. Excuse me. It is fucking massive. Is that why we can't see it? Fair enough. I appreciate the honesty. Let's scale this down, shall we? Hello, good sir. If I tried to pronounce your name, I'd absolutely butcher it, and I don't want to disrespect you like that. But that's because I'm American and my education system failed me. Actually, we need this like even smaller, like 0.2 of what it was. It's not going to be like a massive ripple effect. That was a little bit ridiculous looking. The case of the missing particle effect. I mean, it's showing up. Just showing up in a weird location. Also, again, it's like fucking massive. I wonder if it is actually like avoiding the scale here that we're setting it to. These are like the really like abstract things that I don't typically test for, but I have to test for in this particular system. I think I'm seeing the problem. For that. Fastball by the face, dang. Yeah. Right now, I have like a very simple animation for projectiles, but got some pretty neat ideas for those. I'm gonna spice them up a little bit. Case of the missing projectile. Oh wait. The effect. Pretty inconsistent though. And 70 might be too high. Do you think after the game has more things, there will be issues with performance from particles and effects of combat? Yeah, so particles can get a bit crazy. The key thing you have to like really do with particles, or like remember, is what particles require the CPU and which ones are run on the GPU. I can show you why really fast. We're gonna use one of the old particle systems here that I have for the essence pool on our sanctuary thing, or our sanctuary map. Where is it? World, I think. No, I guess not. If only I was a little bit more organized. That's okay. We'll use the storm on our vortex map. So if you look here, that's a lot of fucking particles. Use my language. I have all of these running through the GPU. The GPU for games has a lot more what they call flow-through rate for processing particles. You can set these to be CPU bound, but there's not as much flow-through rate to process those, and the processor is more demanding for like the logistical side of game development. You really want to try to bind as much of this stuff to the GPU rather than the CPU, because the GPU can actually handle 1,000 times more particles than the CPU can. So like this right here, if we like go to our performance tab, it's not even using, well, I mean combined it's using 0.03 ms. But like each individual one of these is not even really using one combined. The system, however, has to keep everything in sync, so it's going to use more. To put this into perspective, like the reason MS is like really important is because this is how you can determine a game's frame rate, right? Fuck, what's the conversion? I think for like 60, for a 60 FPS game. Let me make sure that I have this conversion right, so I'm not giving false information here. Here. Okay. This is what it was. Reason MS is so important is because the way games do calculation is you have a certain amount of these milliseconds, right, to do all the calculations before the next frame is rendered to the screen, right? So when you're doing this rendering, there's a list of things going on behind the scenes before the next scene is generated or frame. So in order for you to have a game run at like 140 frames per second, right? You only have roughly about 7 milliseconds worth of time to get logistics completed on the programming side of things. So like looking at performance, this is a very small impact comparatively to if I just ran all of this stuff on CPU. And I should be able to show you what CPU sim would look like if I changed all of them. I only changed one and it doubled. If I go to each of these, is it, here we go, properties. And I change all of them to be a CPU, to be CPU bound. Not only am I killing my processor right now by doing this, but like that shit is taking up a fourth. Like that is so much right there. So yeah, with particles, as long as you're able to keep a lot of it GPU bound, and as long as people have like decent enough graphics cards with enough like memory to them, should be okay. Why is it not undoing my... Wait, what was I just doing? Move node. Oh, okay. Fine. I didn't just like Control Z like my past year's worth of work or anything. Thank God. They can get bent if they don't have the specs. Yeah, I mean pretty much. Like a lot of games nowadays require you to have a solid state hard drive. And if you don't, you know, get bent. All right, get out of that guy. So yeah, like with nanite and everything, the reason nanite is so cool is because, you know, like a decade ago, solid state hard drives were like super expensive. Nobody could really like afford them for games. Well, maybe like you put your like operating system or whatever on it, but now they're like significantly cheaper. They also run significantly faster, up to like 100 times faster than traditional hard disk drives. And the way nanite works is a lot of the performance comes from nanite being able to grab the memory off the solid state and use it for its polygons. If it did that with a hard disk drive, it would pretty much just like break your game. Yeah, nanite's great. Significant performance boosts all around. But the thing is, if your game runs completely on nanite, like you you pretty much have to make the requirement that they have to install it onto a solid state drive. Okay. Back to the task at hand here. Niagara. Why the fuck is it not working? By then SSD will be the norm. To be honest with you, it's pretty much the norm right now. I don't think I know a single person that doesn't use solid state drives for their computer at this point. I don't know how, like, how interested people are with, like, performance shit But like efficiency is something I really love, and I play a lot of games that deal with like management and efficiency. I'd be able to make like a tutorial on like performance and profiling like your game, going over like lighting, LODs. I mean, nanite, you basically don't need LODs, but that's neither here nor there. You have a couple 4 terabyte okay, so for mass storage, right? Totally okay, totally acceptable. Yeah, there's like a lot of abstraction for Unreal Engine for like performance shit. A lot of people don't even realize like you have a ton of like optimization tools right in the editor right here. One of them, and this is one of the things that kills most games, because games nowadays love Lumen, but they don't understand how to optimize Lumen and like other lighting, is light complexity. When your map is like entirely blue, that's like super optimized for the most part. If you have like a bunch of like fucking point lights and shit all around, you're going to trash your game's frames really quick. Like I can show you how bad light complexity gets with just like 2 point lights and Lumen. That's green. Now watch when you have 2 overlapping point lights. Uh-oh, that's getting fucking orange. That's not good. If you add walls and everything into this now, for like shadows, it gets even worse. And most people have walls in their game. If we just increase this size. We just start adding a bunch of walls and shadows. Let's also manipulate the sun a little bit too. Red is bad. This is just with 2 point lights and the sun. It doesn't look like it'd be bad on the outside, but damn, as soon as you get into the these graphs, you're gonna tank your shit. I mean, you could make it like a 3rd point light, even at a very like small overlap section like this. Really bad. Four of them, you're basically just killing. My frames dropped from 120 to like, look at that. It was at 40. This is just from having 4 fucking point lights in your game. And they're overlapping. Light complexity. Absolute killer of frame rate. This shit will nuke the performance of your game. As soon as I remove these though, it should be fine. Look at that. I removed 4 point lights and I doubled my frame rate. Now, point lights are great and they serve their purpose. A better way of handling like lighting in a game is to do this instead. Don't use point lights. Use emissive lights. I'll show you real quick how I got the lighting down. Let's see. Yeah, that's fine. So this is the sanctuary map, right? Looking at the light complexity here. Pretty much blue. I used a couple lights, I will admit. A couple, not point lights. I believe these are, yeah, spotlights. Nothing terrible. The way I did that was using a big old emissive light right here. And this basically just gives very soft lighting all around. And you can just set it to be hidden in game. You'll save yourself a lot of frames. Like, this is a full-on map with hundreds of static meshes that aren't instanced, by the way. And we're getting about like 70 frames in the editor while I'm streaming this in like, not 4K, 1440p. This is the shit that I wish I knew when I was first learning. Really simple lighting tricks. You have so much to learn. I wouldn't focus so much on like performance. I think the only type of like performance thing I would focus on is like very much limiting the amount of lighting you use. Dynamic lighting, that is. Static lighting is usually okay because you can bake a lot of it in, especially if like you don't need shadows. Yeah, lighting is a performance killer. Lumen is great, and you usually only need lumen and like some emissive lighting, and you will you'll be okay. Interior lighting with lumen is like pretty bad, but that's where you use those emissive lights and you'll be fine. Seems good. Yeah, thank you. Base character. Uh-oh. I actually gotta remove this. Why isn't it compiling? ArcViz is something else I was wanting to do in Unreal Engine. Would be useful for my 9 to 5. What is that? Oh, okay. Basically like CAD software, right? Or some type of like detailing? Architect, okay. Yeah, nice. Oh yeah, that would be huge then. I believe there's somebody actually making something, kind of like an architect, like software in Unreal Engine. His name's Zeka, or he's learning to create it. Goddamn ripple effect. Yeah, it's the distortion. Maybe it's the way I have my material set up. Shit, I didn't mean to hit the character. Yeah, like sometimes it shows, but other times it does not. What I'm just trying to do right now is figure out why that's happening. So like right there, it's almost like the angle has something to do with it. I mean, the size of these particles also is like kind of outrageous. I don't want to get rid of that. Holy fuck. Yeah, that is a crazy amount of cost for this. Oh, no wonder it's probably not even spawning. Oh wait, I have fixed bounds. I think I found the problem. Okay, yeah, this is probably it. So, with what I was talking about earlier, the way you can save on MS is by changing your particles to be GPU bound, but in doing so, you have to actually set you basically have to set like the location in your viewport that this stuff actually gets rendered to your screen, whereas like when you have like a particle effect that's CPU bound, it automatically just does that for you. You can have like dynamic bounds, but this is much different. The emitter state looks like it's actually the eating up the most here. Alright, fixed bounds. Just for testing purposes, we're going to actually label these 1000. And to put a 0. Right. My second character didn't spawn. That's okay. Music's kind of hype though. Hard to tell if that's the reason. Also massive. Yeah, I was using like a lo-fi station for a while. I think I switched it up to like a new playlist or something. I think it said it's like Dungeons and Dragons themed music. Pretty good. Okay, well we have it spawning more frequently, so that's kind of leading me in the direction of what's going on. Yeah, I use this website here called like Pretzel Rocks or something. No copyright sounds. I actually have not, but I'll look them up. I've been looking for like a really good like classical music station because I've been really into that lately. No copyright. Oh, yeah. I have heard of these people. I actually didn't know that NCS stood for that. There we go. Yeah, listen to Vivaldi. Yeah, I've been listening to Vivaldi, Mozart, Beethoven, Strauss as well. There was actually some guy with the name Mozart that joined the chat like a couple days ago while we were listening to classical music. He said he's dropping his next album soon, so I can't wait for that. Gonna be sick. For real. Scale sprite size, that's what we want. Initialize particle, this is what we want to mess with. 2000, goddamn. Let's scale that down a bit. Go 150, 150 on this. No wonder. God damn it. I swear I put all these to spawn regardless of collision. Try to adjust location but always spawn. I feel like that's lying to me. Must be something else blocking it then. Yeah, definitely need to definitely need to adjust it, that's for sure. Huh. I might need to maybe the ripple effect is something that will only spawn on the client, so I can orient it properly. Decisions. Who the hell is calling me? Probably someone trying to scam me. Alright, let's adjust the scale. Excuse me. There's actually another Niagara system that I gotta repair today. I didn't notice it was a problem until like last night when I got off. And it was like an internal debate of like, do I just like sit here for another hour and fix this, or do I just do it in the morning? I'm not gonna lie, for like 15 minutes I was like trying to work on it, and then I decided not to. This is not where I want to be. Wait, shit, I don't want to be there either. Where's the animation? Sorry, I'm just like losing my mind. There you are. I do have to like tweak this effect. As you can see, it's kind of like the timing of it isn't like too great, and the way that it is, God, the location of it isn't actually great either. Looking at it. It is way off. Yeah, that's a lot better. I don't think the scale actually does anything for this effect. Also might set this up so it fades rather than just like disappears like that. Alright, just to make debugging a little bit easier, what I'm going to do is add another emitter here that is just going to be a single particle. Just so I can get an idea of the location of this. Set this to 50. Current loop duration. Okay. I mean, shit, it's fucking spawning every time now. Oh, except that time. Alright. Something's got to be denying the spawn then, right? Maybe the... I did not mean to do that. Something canceling the animation early? No, because it's not even spawning for the character here. What a weird interaction. I'm gonna move this ripple effect to the beginning. Maybe the animation is ending early, and that's causing the problem. I think that was it. I think our system was just being cannibalized. Yeah. Looks like that was the problem. Okay. You gotta be careful with that stuff. So I can explain exactly how that was working. So the way the combat system in this game works is based on frames within an animation. And what I mean by that is right here, see how there's this like event going off? This event is the exact frame that this ability will trigger and spawn and like fire or do like everything it's supposed to. So what's happening here is when this is triggered, it tells the animation to end now or very soon. And I guess what was happening was when that was being called, it was like right near or right next to the frame where we were spawning that ripple effect. So I just have to be aware of when this is called compared to where we're putting this ripple effect to spawn. Yeah, so if we go back and we look in our druid ability and we look at the thing here at frame, what is this, 678 is where this is actually getting spawned. And I guess we were trying to spawn this like way past that. So what we should do is spawn it right around here. That should fix that problem. As long as it's spawning a couple frames before that effect gets called for our ability to spawn, it should guaranteed happen every single time. Yeah, okay. We can get rid of this now, and we can scale these guys now. They just need to be a little bit bigger. I think 250 would probably be where we would want them. Either that or 350. We just want the initial ripple effect to be slightly bigger than the hand of the character. So when they punch... Okay, it's not spawning in the correct location, but we'll fix that part. Here. Scale, sprite size, we would want this to start at 0.2. Maybe a little bit bigger. Probably needs to be more towards the right. Probably like -22. And 180-ish. I wonder if we can have this spawn directly onto... Let's see if we can actually have it just spawn onto here. Copy this. See how this looks. Oh yeah, that's fucking way better. Not even a fucking comparison. We just gotta make it just a tad bigger on the outside rings. We're getting there. Put these guys up to like 0.35 on, not 0.5. That's much. Actually, might be a good idea to stagger them, possibly. We'll see. Yeah, we'll do that. The initial ring we just got to bring up to like 1.2. Uniform sprite size. We'll lower these just a little bit since we're scaling them a little bit higher. Excuse me. Oh, and I also have a staggered spawn on them. We're not going to do that anymore. There it is. We do need to scale the color though. Having them spawn directly in like that without like any type of interpolation feels weird. I don't want to interpolate the size though. I want to interpolate like the actual opacity of this. So it starts out at 1. I think what we should do is probably have it more so be like this. Copy. Went one too fast. Got it. Point three. Yeah, sorry I'm taking so long on this, but I just really want to get the right feel to this ability. I think I want them to also be staggered on the y-axis as well, right? And probably have them move as it's happening. It just looks like too flat. So like the first one, which is the smallest, we would push this 15, maybe we'll try 15, then we'll try 7.5, and then we'll have the last one be at spawn. Oh yeah, that's maybe 15's too much, but we're getting there. Maybe the size is also just a little big. We'll put this guy down to like a 10, 5, and then 0. And then the size itself we'll put down to 175, I guess. I think the way it's expanding, let's give this an offset on the X just by a little bit. Probably like -8 roughly. And maybe the size needs to go down even more. Size on the initial one. The other ones probably have to remain bigger. Shit's hard, man. There's like a certain feel I'm going for this, and I'm getting really close. But there's just like small things that are just off. But as soon as we get it to that point, it's going to look amazing. Just through a lot of trial and error to get to this point. I think I want these to also be moving as well. We just need to add velocity if we're doing that. We don't need a constant force. Velocity 0 on the Z. It would be linear. Not 250. We'll try 50. Patient. Oh, on the X then. I also just realized something else. I did these in the opposite order. Small things. Huh, would it be from the Z then? It must be going off the rotation of the socket. No, definitely not that. Maybe it's just the effect. I'm actually gonna make a color note here so I don't have to go in and do this every time. Could also make one for the size too. $15.5. I think the alpha is also getting scaled up a bit too much. Actually did this part. Here, the last one that spawned shouldn't actually be the one that gets biggest here. Technically, it actually should be smaller than that. 1.2. One goes up to like what? 1.7? We're going for like a more like three-dimensional effect than what we have right now. So we're messing with the alignment and speed. Getting there. And a bunch of phone calls. Actually, here's an idea. The first couple ripples, right? They start off expanding slow, and then they expand quickly after that. I think that would actually give it a way bigger feel. You just do it like this. And then we add another keyframe here. Point 4. Trying to think of like how I want this delay to be. So it's going to scale up to about 2.4 rapidly after that. Essentially trying to mimic like a shockwave. Then we could do like a pulsing effect where it goes like that. See how this looks. The first one should be the biggest. Second one. .7. Oh no, that's the first. One goes to 1.2. Needs to happen faster. Actually might go down to like 0.3 or something. Oh, on key. And then we would want this effect to taper out. See how it kind of like stops like that? So we are just going to add another key all the way here at 1 second. I'm gonna grow to at 1.5. So about 0.3 more what we would do. 1 second, add a key. Starts at 0.7. So this would be about 2. Go to 2.7. Oh. That was weird. OBS just was going crazy for a second. Are you guys able to hear me? Is that my audio's bitrate is too low. gonna check on my phone real quick. My phone sounds fine. Huh. Yeah, I have no idea. .5. .5 and 3, add a key. And this would be 1.5 roughly. I think the only thing that's really off at this point is the spawning. Only by like a little bit though. I think I wanted to shrink a little bit more because we're going for kind of like almost like a negative pressure effect, like a shockwave. My apologies, I didn't mean to hit the microphone there. So like the scaling of the size of this particle is actually like the most crucial part. So if we were to do something like this. Yeah, we're trying to go for like a vacuum. These don't have to be like identical. They just need to all be filling the same purpose. The last one will probably not go as low. Honestly, almost. I think we just upped the size a little bit, and we're nearly there. And maybe not have the opacity of the rings be as high. As you can clearly see the color. If we put this to like what, like 110? Probably be good. This combined with the other effect that we're going to have for casting abilities is going to make this look a lot better. What is that jittering motion? Too far away. This looks a lot better than it did yesterday, and that's for fucking sure. This combat is gonna be so fucking cool. Ugh. The rotation is just off, but that's fixable. I gotta fix that animation. There's a couple animations that have to get fixed. Well, I say fixed, converted from the old format to the new model. Specifically the transformations. The rotation of that ripple effect also has to get corrected. Looking pretty damn cool though. I like it. Alignment and facing mode. Oh man, I'm trying to remember how how you render the sprites. Not scalability. Fuck, I might mess with that later. Man, someone's just blowing my phone up. I can mess with that. Yo, what's going on? We're just making some sound effects and visual effects and shit for combat. This morning we went into Audacity and made some sounds. We took this effect here. Let me make sure that I don't have Audacity at like a crazy volume. But we took this effect, which I think it's like a firework or something. And we turned it into this. Kind of like a very distorted like shockwave with like a super like bassy kick. And this is what we're going to be using for casting. So that like ripple effect that we have right now. We have it implemented right now, but it's only mono. For the user, I want to make it stereo. But for everybody, like everyone else in the lobby, it would be a mono noise. But yeah, it's coming together pretty good. Oh, another thing I gotta fix is this shit isn't getting attached to the hand when we're picking our casts. That's a fun one. Oh, and it's stuck. Uh-oh. Might be debugging time. Gotta fix all our Niagara shit that isn't working. Only a couple of things, luckily. Yeah, so the way it works right now is when you're invoking an ability, so when you open up that radial wheel, your hand comes forward, and what's supposed to happen is there's going to be a particle effect. Excuse me. That will display the rune of the current selected ability you have in the radial wheel, and when you move like around the radial wheel and you select different things, it will dynamically change the texture of the current Niagara effect. But it's not getting attached to our mesh, which is really weird because we have the correct name. And just for reference, this is how you mess with Niagara in C++ when you're spawning it in. So, gotta see why this is not taking effect here. Oh, it's spawn at location with params. Fuck. Do I combine blueprints with C++? Rule of thumb is C++ for all logistical work. Blueprints I try to keep to like animations mostly, and like setting like variables. So like, for instance, when I'm making like U properties and I put like edit anywhere, these I typically will all set in blueprints. So this is like the standard usually, is to do it like this. I mean, well, technically it's, you put it as edit defaults only, but I set it as this so I can make changes during runtime of the game and do debugging that way. So, to answer your question, a mix, but mostly C++. I also just found this problem was here. I was calling spawn system at location, but what I needed to call was this. So if we compile here, it should actually work as intended. That was loud. If you guys need like any tutorials or you have any questions about converting blueprints to C++ or C++ to blueprints, like feel free to ask me. Everything that is written in C++ usually can be done in blueprints. And if there's any functions that exist in blueprints, they all exist within C++. Usually in the Kismet gameplay library, or gameplay statics library, where you can find them. I think I have that included here actually. Oh, I have math library, but they have another one that has like all the blueprint nodes. People don't realize how similar like creating shit in blueprints and C++ is until I actually show them, like, I show them what all the nodes are in code, and they're like, oh shit, it's actually really easy. Yeah, if you... Yeah, I appreciate you joining us. If you are really familiar with blueprints, I'm making a tutorial series on how to like do very common things in Unreal Engine in both C++ and blueprints. And the idea is the top half of the video will have a screen of the blueprint version of it, and then the bottom half will have the C++ version. And they'll both be doing the same exact thing. So what you'd be able to do is you'd see the blueprints and you'd be able to get the code from it. Or if you want to do it in blueprints, you can see what the C++ translation of that is. I think like linking the two things together will give people an easier access into coding, because you'll be able to visually see how it looks if you've used blueprints before. I also answer like any questions that people have regarding blueprints or C++, so if you ever run into anything, you know, don't be shy. Here to help. Damn it. Oh, that's it. Did live coding fail? No. And where is my damn Niagara effect? What did I name it? Spawn? Oh, I put it here. I didn't put it up here though. Okay. Now we should be good. So, fucking Christ, that's loud. I'm sorry if you guys can hear my ice just like skull fuck the bottom of my cup. But hopefully noise suppression stops that from going. Now it should be attached to my hand. Said that like 3 times already, but forgot there were 2 functions. Okay, so it is attached. Where is it attached to though? Actually, I don't think this is replicated on the server. No, it isn't. Yeah, I'm barely trying to get into C++ with no coding background. Yeah, it's people make coding seem more intimidating than it actually is. If you're like really good with blueprints, or like you're pretty like confident with them, the same flow that you build blueprints in is the same flow that you would build C++ code in. It's just I guess different methods of getting to the same place. Everyone told me don't do C++ and just do Python. That's because they're afraid of stepping in the water and creating some memory leaks once in a while. Yeah, so take it this way, right? Everyone said do Python for the past like couple of years. Back in 2014, everyone was like do Java and JavaScript. Or maybe that was 2010, everyone was like Java. 2014, 2015 was all JavaScript. But there's like a roller coaster effect to all of that, right? When more people are learning a certain language and they're going through college learning that language, when they all graduate, they're all going to be competing for the same job. So if everybody's telling you don't do C++, right? There's probably going to be a lot more jobs in C++ by the time people graduate. It's all supply and demand, my friend. I appreciate that people hate C++, because that's less competition for me. I embrace it. When people tell me C++ sucks, I'm like, dude, you are so right. I wouldn't bother. That's because I'm a self-centered piece of shit, I guess. Competition's good. Yeah. No, I agree with that. But I'm a guy without a degree. So like, push comes to shove, they're probably going to take the dude with a degree that doesn't know what he's doing versus the guy that, you know, doesn't have a degree but knows what he's doing. That's the unfortunate reality of the situation. There's one guy I knew that he had his like bachelor's or something, and he got canned at his company because they hired a new guy that had a master's degree, and they basically told him that they were going to go with somebody else because they were more qualified, even though that dude like worked there for like a decade. Game studios are really desperate right now. Yeah, so right now the market is pretty trash, but it's a roller coaster. This is like a cycle of like every 4 years. Companies overhire, then they overfire, then they overhire again, then they overfire, and it's like this. It's a repeated cycle. It's the washing machine of developers. Joining failing game studios. So many flimsy startups right now. Yeah, the most important thing is make sure that you're creating some projects of your own so you have a portfolio, and on your resume, if you have like basically a bunch of listings on there from previous jobs that you worked at, it reflects pretty well that you have your own material and you've worked at a bunch of different places before. Especially if those places can say like, yeah, this guy knows what he's doing. That also helps. There's one other thing that I was looking to do here. I think it was with the testing system. Yeah, portfolio is a huge part of getting hired. I don't know if you're like in college for programming or anything like that, but everyone that I know that has had success with programming always started building their portfolio like their first couple of years of college. And they always looked for like internships during college, like as many as they could get. And with that type of like resume going out of it, you're almost like guaranteed a job, even in like kind of a bad economy like it is right now. But don't take my word for it. I'm just some random dude on the internet. We want this to be not CPU bound, GPU bound. We care about every single MS that we can get. Right, so we probably have to add an offset to this, or technically what we can do is just make a socket for the hand. Another one. All the sockets. And we'll name this one invoking socket. The invoking socket is going to sit right here. And we also have to scale this down too. But I think this thing is actually just massive. Where am I from? I am from the US of A. The land of the poor. Or I mean the free. You're from California? Yeah, I gotta say, I'm an East Coaster. So fuck West Side. Just kidding. But I will say that Biggie Smalls is better than Tupac, but you didn't hear that from me. Yeah, we want this to be like maybe that. You want to leave? Dude, you gotta join the people in Texas. Everyone from Cali was just like, fuck this place, and they all moved to Texas. Housing's cheap. Great weather, besides the snow and power outages. But besides that, it's pretty cool. I've heard. Jump on the train. Oh, this is a mesh. We want this to be like 21. Yeah. I had a buddy that was there and he had power, or he had no power for like 3.5 weeks or something. And then he told me that people down the street from him, they were out for like a month and a half or something crazy. And I was like, Jesus Christ, man. It's unbelievable. Rid of that shit. Let's see if it's... Oh, I gotta change the code so it actually spawns on the hand. Before I do that, let me make sure that I actually spelled it right. I think that's how you spell it, so we're just gonna go with it. Bada bing, bada boom, live code. I think, yeah, we're on day 144 of the project, and I wish I recorded the first like 90 days, because I started, I think I started streaming. I don't know why that was so hard to say. Started streaming around like day 70 something on like Twitch, but they don't save VODs, so I wasn't able to save those. But the changes that I've made from like day 30 to day 144 are absolutely fucking massive. And I think it would have been really cool to look back and see how bad the combat looked back then. But I still have test builds from like day 30. So I might do a stream where I just like, maybe I'll do that for like the half-year special. I just go in and show like the old systems and like the janky combat. Be like, this is how the game progressed over the past year. Because, yeah, really big changes. Fuck is my thing at? The worse, the better the contrast. Yeah, dude, I could start the YouTube video off like day 1. I loaded up the first person example map. And then like day 90, I have like this massively different game. I love tutorial videos that do that. We're just like, I turned this into this. And it's just the third person starter map or starter project. Which, no shame. I get it, you know, I respect the grind. But try doing it from scratch. Snake oil salesman? Nah. Oh my god. Yeah, dude, there's like, oh man, the worst is like going on like TikTok and then you just like see this like guy talking about, man, I'm not a hater. Maybe I am. The worst is like going on TikTok, you see a dude talking about like making a game and shit, and then like you recognize all the assets they're using because they're all from like the fucking marketplace on Unreal. And like he just like took them and then just like attached like a bunch of shit in blueprints and then just like printed a game out and decided to sell it for like $30 on Steam. Man, I don't know, that shit fucking makes my blood boil. Maybe I'm just a loser. I don't know. Also, where the fuck is my static mesh at? I am not noticing a static mesh here. Alright, time to do the usual, which is you add an emitter to see the exact location of the center. You released a game you didn't? See? Dude, I'm just a hater, bro. I really am. I'm just a hater. Because that's the truest thing I've ever heard. No, dude, you're right though. That's the thing. He is like he got his final product. Meanwhile, my dumbass is making all my assets shit from scratch for the most part. Some days I want to be like him because I'm like, god damn, I really don't want to do this. Especially when I'm working with like animations and I'm just like, I'm so bad at it. But persevere. You get through it. Staring at a white ball right now. Where's the rest of my emitter? That's dead center. Best advice, by the way, Unreal Marketplace every month has free assets. If you're not using them, you just like should not care. Take all of them. I've built up like a gigantic library of like all these assets, and like some of them for this project I actually like looked and I was like, oh shit, like I could use this and that, and it just like saves so much time. I mainly okay art side game dev trying to get into blueprint coding. Yeah, dude, I wish I had the artistic ability. Like I can make landscapes, and like map design is a lot of fun for me. I enjoy doing it. Drawing, animations, materials. Nah, not for me. I'm so bad at it. I can get by, but I'm no pro. I see a bunch of oh wait, no, I see it. Look at that. Got the little white ball in my hand. So the center's there. But my texture isn't loading. Why is that? Wait. We actually want it random mass. I don't know why I took that away. This is what I care about. What projects are you working on now? Or if you're working on any? Do I have any suggestions for a C++ noob? Oh boy, do I. So, good. Oh, I'm yawning. Any good phone apps? There is a... Oh man, maybe that's only for Python, actually. Learn Code and Blueprint. So there, I'm going to link this in chat, actually, and probably pin this. There is a giant list of courses that's completely free to use. It's provided by the University of Helsinki. Some of these courses are things that you submit online, and some are like you need to download an IDE or something like NetBeans. But these courses are fantastic. You create an account, they grade everything you do. It's kind of like you're taking a college course, but it's free and you do it at your own pace. This is where I learned Python, Java, JavaScript, React, Node, SQL, pretty much everything that I know. And AI design, that's another cool course that they have. Not sponsored, by the way. I don't even think there was a sponsorship. It's totally free. But I found this when I was like fresh out of high school. I know. So what I initially was going to say was they do have a Java course on, or they do have a Java course on there, and Java is probably the closest thing to C++ in terms of like syntax. So my recommendation was, if you wanted to get into coding, learning a language like Java, which is object oriented, so it has like a hierarchy. You don't want to waste brain juice on non-C++. Totally fair. Another thing that I would recommend is this, which is a Udemy course. You must become a C++ blueprint god. Yeah, here, let me give you this then. Where the hell did I put it? Yes, this. Don't know why I don't have the actual thing bookmarked, but I can click a couple things and find it. This right here, also not sponsored, but that's another great course. That one's not really interactive, like you have to have Unreal Engine in front of you. But that's the course that I used when I got started with C++ with Unreal Engine. Before I was just using like blueprints. But I did that course like years ago, and it's great. The guy talks very slow. I usually have to watch it at like 2x speed. Some people might, you know, flow with how fast he speaks. Me, personally, I can't stand it for whatever reason. So it actually just sounds weird if I listen to it anything slower than 2x. Yeah, it's really good. Same. I have ADHD, so I have to listen to it really fast. And then I'll miss something he said, and I'll have to go back and repeat it again, and by the time I do that, I should have just listened to it at 1x speed. Now, why isn't my damn particle spawning? Keep also messing with these attributes here. Care about them. What I care about. Wait a minute. Do I have this not? That was weird. Oh, is it fixed bounds? Oh, there was some weird thing I had to do with this. It's rendering a mesh. I think I have to change it to a sprite. Can you show me some of your project? This looks cool. Yeah, sure. I will show you the lobby, and then I'll show you the actual arena map. Like hovering maps, where is it? Oh, here it is. So, get rid of this real quick. Spawn into the game. I'll kind of show you the flow of it. So it's a multiplayer like battle arena game. Oh, Paragon? Yeah. All the Paragon assets are free, but I haven't used any of them. Probably should. Yeah, so... texture streaming is over. Budget. Oh shit, it's using my old model. Hold up. I don't want that. I want new. Go. That guy spawned through the fucking map. Weird. It's actually a bug I've been ran into before. You're very elite and hardcore. Yeah, I used to be. I ran out of time though. Unfortunately. That is so weird. My client is actually spawning outside of the map. Even though there are multiple spawn points here. Quite odd. Make him a little bit comfortable, shall we? We're gonna spawn you here. You're just having a bad day. There we go. Yeah, so I mean, it's one of the maps I made. Well, this is the lobby map in particular. This right here is where you would basically like turn quests in and shit. 30 FPS. Yeah. It's because I have networking open. I'm streaming in 1440p. A bunch of Google Chrome tabs open. I have a bunch of shit open on my computer at once. And I'm running 3 instances of Unreal Engine. Yeah, so the whole like purpose of this map is basically this is the like lobby where you join in with like your team. And this is where like you pick the game mode, map, all that shit. And then you go to the actual map itself from here. So it's all networked, all replicated. Completely multiplayer integrated with Steam. And then I have a bunch of UI stuff. So this is like where you set up class trees and everything. So you would pick your classes, assign them here, and then you would be able to set your like skill tree points in here and like rank up your class. So yeah, I got all that. Oh, I gotta fix the camera for the new model. See, I'm finding bugs. Yeah, they're fully functional. The way I have them set up right now is they're completely dynamic. So the way you build them is you just open up like a spreadsheet, you put the name of the passive, and then you select what the passive effects on the ability that it's like assigned to. So you can increase like the duration of like damage over time effects. You can increase like the damage of like anything. You can increase the tick rate of damage, the radius of effects, like everything. You released the game before? I've done a couple game jams. I've mainly made like small like horror games and shit. This is just a 3D team board, which is also completely multiplayer. So like for instance, if I go to my client here, I access it, I can click, it changes. You select what team you're on. This little like plane that I have here is going to be a 3D representation of the map that you select. Currently there's only 2 maps, which is Vortex and Arena. We're gonna head to the Arena map. So the way Arena works is you gain 2 levels per round. You can put them into essentially like, you know, any like slot you want. Press G, it opens up your class tree so you can see like what level will get you what ability. When you hover an ability, it tells you the exact amount of damage your ability does based on like your passives and like ability power, any of those. The Arena map is a timed round of currently 2 minutes for testing. And it's basically like you kill the opponent, they don't respawn until the end of the round, or until the new round happens, and it's last team standing wins the round. Yeah, I guess pretty much, yeah. That's a good way to think about it. This game has near infinite scaling. The way ability power works is there's this thing called Essence that's in the bottom right corner here. The way you get Essence is by killing other entities, so either players or PvE mobs, because there will be gear and PvE mobs in the game. Well, there is, I just haven't put them in the map. And what happens is when you kill one, you get half the essence that that thing has, and essence will scale damage on every single ability. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I didn't even show you the attribute tree yet. Yeah, so you gain like essence, it increases damage. And let's open up the attribute tree. So one thing I have to make 3D, I converted everything else, but you get 60 attribute points. And the way I designed the attribute tree is you're able to either put 1 point into an ability or an attribute and skip by it, or you can put up to 3. So like say I just want only focus. So you can put up to 3 points into a single attribute. So if you want to like create your character to be a glass cannon, you can put minimal amounts of points into like resistance and health, and you can maximize damage and grab every damage attribute that you currently have. And this is fully implemented. The only thing I'm missing is at the end of every route, there's going to be essentially called a seal, is what I named it. And what it will do is it will grant extra effects to essentially like global modifiers like crit or like crit damage or like movement speed. So those will get implemented probably within the next major UI update, which is going to be turning this from a 2D plane UI to a 3D plane UI, where the player opens this up, and what happens is the whole top of this opens up to a map of the galaxy where these runes are actually going to be, and the player will be able to click on them and upgrade their skill tree that way. So that's the next thing we have to focus on after we get combat wrapped up. But the one feature I loved in Path of Exile and like League and everything like that is the ability, double skill trees. Yeah, so you got, the way the game works is you select 3 different classes, right? There's going to be 9 classes on release. You can mix and match each class. Classes contain 9 abilities each, right? So your character will have up to 30 abilities or more on their character, and you can mix and match which abilities your character has by selecting the class tree. They hate complex choices sometimes. Yeah, but I'm not making it for them. I'm making it for people that love really like designing like a really unique character and making very unique builds. I want to give like a lot of flexibility to players so they can design their own type of play style based on how they want to play. So I'm giving them basically all the tools to build something that would stay within a certain balance margin of about like 7.5%. Thank you. Yeah, I want a lot of variety. I also am creating an algorithm for something called meta shifting is what I call it. And what it will do is, the current way I balance this game is you're able to kill a player with perfect combos, perfect damage, everything like that within a 7 to 8 second time frame, right? The algorithm that I'm going to be putting into this game is something that will change the base damage of all abilities and effects, durations, everything like that, to basically different numbers. But the end result is you're still going to be able to kill a player within like a certain time frame. So it's going to shift play styles of entire class trees, right? And this type of thing would happen like weekly. So nobody can just like meta grind, find the best build, and then stick with it till a new patch comes out. It's going to dynamically shift the meta by modifying abilities on the fly every single week. So everybody will have to build something new every time, and playstyles will essentially just get flipped. The Paragon dev team predecessor? Huh, I don't know if I have time for that. I'm dumping like 10, 12 hours a day into this grind. God damn, that's fucking loud. But yeah, a lot of work. So that arena map is just one thing. The next thing that we have to focus on is, along with like class trees, attributes, everything like that, there's character equipment. So you have like your boots, chest, legs, 2 accessories, and a helmet with your inventory. So you're able to gain attributes from that as well, which making the equipment system wasn't that difficult. It was pretty straightforward because it basically just did the same thing that my attribute system was doing, except it's just a visual indicator. So this is going to be one of the PvE maps. And it's the same rule of like any type of like extraction game. Where if you go in with your gear and you die, you lose it. There will be like an insurance policy for like one piece of gear that you go in with. And the whole purpose of that is to fight what people call like anxiety queuing, where like they're like, fuck, I don't want to play because if I lose this gear, like the risk isn't worth the reward, and I don't want people to feel like they're going to like lose everything and be too scared to play the game and just like camp with like their perfect gear set the whole time, because that's not fun. But yeah, this was one of the designs I was going for. It was basically like a storm planet, or like corrupt. And the mobs on here are shit you just like kill and they drop gear. Yeah, that was my problem with Dark and Darker, man. My idea to fix that was basically make like a one piece of gear insurance policy. And meta shifting. That meta shifting algorithm would completely change how that works. Because you won't see people just running the same comp to farm AP. Yeah, Omega geared vets farm new players. Dude, they've made so many changes to try to fight against it, and every single one just it felt like short. It like capping players to like 15, and then as soon as you hit level 15 you or I think 15 or 16 you get thrown to the wolves. That just felt super bad. When you have 10x the power of lobies, it's just not fun. Their biggest mistake was adding plus all attribute equipment. Never in existence is plus all attribute equipment ever a balanced thing. Not only that, dude, they still, oh man, this is my biggest gripe. Oh, sorry for ranting. There is still plus all attribute equipment in the game, and they added more attributes. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the plus all attributes only affects like the main attributes of the game. But if it affects every single new attribute that they keep adding to the game, it just makes it stronger. Like, just get rid of it entirely. It is way, way, way too strong of a keyword. It's main only? Okay. Even if it's still main only, way too strong. Way, way, way too strong. It reminds me of when they added weapon damage, like plus weapon damage to weapons that had like 3x times faster attack speed than others. They get farmed from spawn? Exactly, dude. Yo, when the stiletto dagger, right, which can attack like 2 to 3 times faster than like, you know, oh fuck, what the hell is it called? A war maul? When that has plus 3 weapon damage compared to a war maul that has plus 3 weapon damage, like the stiletto just does 3 times more damage. It's like these very basic like balancing mechanics just like don't apply to their gear. The game was awesome at the start. Yeah, man, I played playtest 2, 3, and 4 when they had it. It was a lot of fun. But when I saw the plus all attributes thing in the game during playtest 3, I was like, that's not good. And then it turned out to not be good. No stat checking? Oh man, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like when nobody knows what the meta is, like the game in general will just be more fun. Because you're just not like, you're literally just playing the game to play the game. You're not playing the game to like get to this exact calculated point that you know is like the best. Just yeah, so how that's rendered, gotta change that. I think I'm gonna just change it to a sprite. Holy fuck, there's no way. Because of this? Wow, that is a crazy, crazy, crazy amount. Oh, is it just spawning like infinite? This is gonna get changed. What did I let this do? Render velocity. Feels like a mobile game at that point. Yeah, I wish the devs luck. It's just really like they put themselves in a really hard position of balancing. They tried to get rid of plus all attributes. I remember they issued a patch which pissed a lot of people off, and including me actually, where they, dude, like I worked for weeks to get like this like very specific gear, and then they were like, oh fuck, we're gonna remove this attribute and re-roll. We're gonna re-roll all stats on all gear. And they did that, and like all the gear that I collected just re-rolled into like absolute dog shit. And I was like, you just like fucked your whole player base, dude. That is crazy. Luckily they like reverted that, but that just left such a sour taste in my mouth. Why would that be a good idea to like re-roll that? Makes no sense. Yeah, dude, it's when they removed plus all attributes, and I think they tried removing weapon damage too at that time. And if you had any gear with those stats on it, bam, re-rolled. I got fucked because like my gear basically was just completely useless. It didn't even like roll me strength or anything when I was playing rogue, which is like one of the most important stats. Size. Yes. Yeah, so that's what I was seeing too. I was just like, listen, if you're gonna do a change like that, I totally get it. But that kind of change would have to happen at a wipe. Because re-rolling all current gear, it's just going to make everyone mad. It's not gonna fix the problem, it's gonna cause more. Oh, you bastard. You're not moving with the, look. I mean, luckily my cycling works though. So you could see how like when I hover a new ability. See how it changes the rune? Now just just imagine that that rune is actually in my hand, and these swirling little sperm-looking things are flying towards the center of my hand. Not away from it. And then what's going to happen is when you actually select an ability like this, the rune is going to blink, and then all the balls are going to combine in the center and go into the seal that's around your wrist. Waste all the dedicated players' time. Yeah, man, it felt like I wasted weeks. This is a horrible feeling. Not fun at all. Also, what's not fun is this thing not sticking to my goddamn hand. Where are you going? Also, this is bad. 0.19 ms. Holy shit. I'll fix that though. Just gotta find out what's causing it. I mean, it looks like it's this. Excuse me. Mesh orientate. Don't need this. All right. There we go. It's huge, but it's there. Like 12. I mean, that looks pretty dope. So the color of the rune is also going to be dictated by the clash tree's main color. So for Tempest, it's going to be blue. Druid, it's going to be like a darkish green, and then for Pyromancy, it's going to be like a orange, yellow, reddish like tint. So it's going to be dynamic based on that too. And the effect of when the player's like closing to seal the rune in is also going to be changed depending on the class that they are playing. I'm noticing like a couple small bugs, but it's like nothing crazy. Very fixable. This is why we're testing it out. Another thing is the rune itself that you seal away is going to be part of the projectile that you launch out into the world. Like when I shoot this ability, it will actually shoot out with the projectile itself. But yeah, coming together super nice. I mean, I will make a video showing the different stages of the build way later down, probably around, yeah, I guess like a half-year special. Oh man, I really hope I didn't miss your message because I was so focused on it. Is timeline and sequencer the same thing in Unreal? I don't think so. Sequencer, I don't know what timeline is. Hold on a second. If you're still here. Oh, no. Timelines, they are a little bit different. I think I've used timelines before for like death animations and stuff. I believe timelines allow you to like play they allow you to like, man, what's the best way to say this? I guess I can give you like an example. I have like a material that I apply to the character when they die, that will play like a disintegrate effect. So where like the player loses like opacity at certain locations of their body until like they're completely invisible. And what a timeline does is it allows you to slowly over time allow that opacity to kind of like fill in. Maybe that's not the best way to explain it. Fuck. But essentially it allows you to like lerp over a certain range of value for you to like play like different effects. Hopefully that makes sense. Did I change this? Yeah, I did. That attack animation looks so fucking cool. It needs work, but like nearly there. So the thing that I'm going to change with it is probably like two things. The wrist will have the rune, or like 3 of them, and they'll all come forward and collide to make that distorted effect. So when that's actually added, it'll look a lot better. Yeah. I might take like probably like an hour break, get some food, and then come back and get back to hammering shit out today. Feel pretty good. Feel like we accomplished a lot so far, and I still probably got another 7 hours of streaming time. So I mean, we're gonna take advantage of like every minute we have. Yeah, I wanna teach you guys shit. So if you got any questions, like definitely speak up. Hey, I appreciate that, man. A lot of work and a lot of time, a lot of sacrifice goes into this. But you know, this project may look good, but definitely check out other indie developers too. There's a lot of them out there, and a lot of them don't get the recognition they deserve. That's for sure. Is there any story or lore? Oh, fuck yeah, of course. So I love Norse mythology, and the coolest thing about Norse mythology to me, besides like that I'm like tattooed to shit with like Nordic shit on my body, is like the 9 realms. So I was like, fuck, what if there's like a 10th realm where like everything began? So this whole story is basically about the 10th realm where life began, and life comes from something called essence. And what every single invoker, which is what these like mages are, is their invokers, is they want more essence. Because essence gives life, which life is also power. So what they're doing is they're killing other people to steal their essence and become stronger, which is why the main scaling factor of damage in the game is essence. Because you gain essence from killing things, not just players, but like entities. And the entities... So like Spice and Dude? Yeah. I guess so. It's like the crack to the invoker. So you have like an essence amount, and if I kill this player here, I think damage works on the models. Hold on. Fuck, I just crashed my game. That's okay. I'll fix that. Yeah, the system will reflect the lore entirely. The lore itself is kind of how the game is designed. Work in progress. Okay, so I switched the models over. I switched the models over, and there are some things that haven't been implemented yet from the old models, but I will fix that. I've said that 100 times, but that is definitely going to get fixed, because that was a problem. But all the equipment that you get in the game as well is also affected by essence. And the whole like lore behind equipment is they're lost relics that were basically just like left at certain points in the 10th realm, and over time they've absorbed essence from that realm. So that's why gear drops aren't going to be based on like the value or like legendary and shit like that. Gear drops are going to be based on timeline. So if that piece of equipment was longer, or they're longer than others, it will have more essence in it, meaning that the stats on it will also be increased. And shit like that. And the way it's going to work is if you die to PvE mobs, and nobody claims your gear and the lobby closes, that gear is actually just going to get absorbed into the game and then put into another random lobby somewhere. And the longer it stays, the stronger it gets. So it's kind of like that meme where it's just like, do you want to take $20 or double it and give it to the next person? Just think about that, but for gear. I'll fix that. Game dev's last words. Or game dev words, yeah. Every time I say I'll fix that, my editor crashes. But yeah, I'll probably take a break for now. Come back in about like an hour, and then we'll just start blasting through some more shit on the list to do. I'll look into why the fuck my engine just crashed, but like it was probably something really stupid, like a null pointer being referenced by something and trying to access it. Simple shit. But yeah. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I look at all the comments. I check messages, all that shit. And use me as a resource. I want to help you guys develop games. So any questions you got, feel free to ask me. But with that being said, I'm going to head on out. And yeah, I'll be back about like an hour, hour and a half, depending on how long it takes my food to get here. Peace.